Mark, thanks for joining us again.
Glad to be with you.
You guys have built a $10 billion chicken franchise. You've learned a lot along the way. You're the guy who studies best practices and tries to implement them within the organization. You've studied some of the best companies in the world. I'm curious, what have you learned?
Well, it's a team effort, and there are a lot of us that are trying to figure out what the future might look like. In fact, my favorite Peter Drucker quote is, "The best way to predict the future is to invent it."
That's really awesome.
And so we're trying to figure that out. As it relates to high performance, we decided several years ago that we wanted to try and help our restaurants and leaders around the world build high performance organizations. And so we went on a multi-year quest studying Navy SEALs, the best retailers in the world. We even spent time with a world championship, America's Cup sailing team. I mean, we're trying to say, what are the practices of high performance organizations? And the good news for us, because we're simple, we sell chicken. The good news is there are only 4 things that we could find that all these high performance organizations have in common. And these are the things that we're trying to do in our organization corporately, and to encourage our operators and other leaders, if these things might serve you.
I want to make sure I understand. You saw a lot of characteristics among these teams, but they were all doing 4 things.
They're all doing 4 things.
What are they?
One, they bet on leadership.
Huge.
We can't find a high-performance organization in the world that's not well-led. They're not purposeful, thoughtful, strategic about growing leaders. We're representing this now as a pyramid, and it's foundational. You've got to have leadership capacity to do these other things. So that's...
You got to hire leaders, and you got to develop them. Okay. Second?
Number 2, high-performance organizations act as one.
They're unified around a mission and aligned.
They're aligned about different things. Some are really hyper-aligned around strategy, and some are hyper-aligned around values, and some are hyper-aligned around purpose, and some a combination. It's like, we think there's so much power in alignment as long as it's one of a half dozen different things, right, that it gives huge energy. It's like the difference in a floodlight and a laser. And when you get all these people, whether it's 10 people or 1,000 people or 100,000 people, I spent some time with an organization. They're reviewing yesterday's scorecard with 100,000 people face to face every day.
Wow.
It's like, okay,
this team is
real alignment there.
It's all about execution and making sure that everybody's rowing in the same cadence.
So the third thing they do is they win the heart. There are high levels of engagement in high-performance organizations, which I think it presents a unique opportunity for leaders. If you believe Gallup's research, 70% of Americans are not fully engaged at work, well, which might explain why you see so few high-performance organizations.
It's costing billions of dollars in opportunity.
Probably trillions of dollars. That engagement is critical because people have to care so that they can actually do this 4th thing, which is to excel at execution. High-performance organizations bet on leadership. They act as one. They win the heart, and that enables them to excel at execution. Now, I shared this with a leader early on when we were doing this work 5-6 years ago, and he said, "Now you're talking." He said, "All I care about is execution." I said, "Well, good luck with that." I said, "That's like the gymnast that says, I just want to do the dismount."
Yeah.
I said, "Where do you think they get the height, the energy, and the momentum to stick the landing?" It's in the routine that precedes the dismount. So for organizations that consistently execute at the highest level, where do you get the height, the energy, and the momentum to execute? It's in the routine, leadership, alignment, and engagement that precedes the dismount.
Beautiful. I want to go through the 4 things again. Repeat them one more time. The 4 things, almost a checklist that we need to think about with our businesses.
Bet on leadership.
Bet on leadership.
Act as one.
Act as one. Be unified.
Win the heart, which is about engagement.
Yep.
And excel at execution.
Well, each of those is a lot of research and a lot of work.
Well, let me say, I wrote a book about those 4 things called Chess Not Checkers.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process, we call it the High Performance Series. I'm now writing the 4th of 5 books going deep on each of those attributes.
Well, I can't wait to read that. Mark, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.